Walk into any dimly lit tavern, restaurant, or wedding hall, and you'll witness a highly orchestrated sequence of human behavior. Conversations pause, voices rise, arms extend outward, bridging the physical space across the table. Then comes the resonant chime of glass meeting glass, followed by a synchronous sip. We execute this millions of times a day. It feels like a casual habit, guided almost entirely by muscle memory and unwritten social scripts. But when you pause to deconstruct this ubiquitous ritual, a profound question emerges. Why exactly do we smash our drinks together? And where did this specific sequence of actions originate before recorded history? Viewing modern humans as subjects of ethnographic study reveals that raising a glass is a behavioral fossil, a surviving remnant of ancient societal survival mechanisms and hidden psychological triggers that has slowly morphed over millennia. If you ask around a dinner table today, the most common explanation for clinking glasses involves assassination. The story goes that the physical gesture originated in the paranoid, cutthroat environment of medieval European courts. According to the lore, political rivals would violently smash their heavy wooden or metal tankards together, causing their wine or ale to slosh and spill into one another's cups. If a host had secretly spiked his guest's drink with belladonna or hemlock, the cross-contamination from the clink would ensure his own demise. It's a highly cinematic theory, but logistically it fails completely. To transfer liquid seamlessly between two vessels upon impact, the cups would need to be filled to the absolute brim. Even then, the vast majority of the spillage would land on the floor or the drinker's hands. Wine and ale were valuable commodities. Intentionally wasting them on the floor to prove a point was socially and economically absurd. More importantly, the poison theory ignores the historical reality of how people drank. Throughout antiquity and the Middle Ages, everyone typically drank from a single shared communal bowl. To drink from the exact same vessel as another person was undeniable proof of non-aggression, because an assassin could not poison a shared bowl without killing themselves. If the biological safety check theory is entirely apocryphal, the physical act of clinking individual glasses must serve a different evolutionary function. The true lineage of the toast begins upon the sacrificial altars of the ancient world. Long before human beings drank to one another, they drank to the gods. The earliest iterations stem from the religious practice of libation, deliberately pouring out a portion of vital, life-sustaining liquids as a sacrifice to deities to maintain agricultural fertility and universal order. As classical societies expanded, this spiritual practice gradually secularized. The focus of the offering shifted from the heavens down to the earthly realm. Instead of pouring wine onto an altar, participants began raising the communal cup to honor their mortal companions, ensuring social unity and mutual survival in unpredictable environments. The Roman Empire eventually codified this social ritual into law. Recognizing the power of shared consumption to enforce political cohesion, the Roman Senate passed official decrees mandating that all citizens drink to the health and longevity of Emperor Augustus at every meal. For centuries, the shared, loving cup remained the standard. But as societies evolved, advancements in hygiene and the rise of individualism led to the mass production of private drinking vessels. This shift solved a physical problem, but created a psychological one. The shared vessel had physically connected the drinkers, while the individual cup isolated them. The act of clinking glasses emerged as a symbolic remedy to this modern separation. By bringing their separate glasses together to touch before drinking, participants perform a pantomime of the ancient communal bowl. It symbolically reunites the divided liquid, artificially preserving the unbroken social bond of their ancestors. While the physical touch preserved the social bond, the sensory experience of drinking remained strictly incomplete. Consuming wine naturally engages sight, touch, smell, and taste. But for most of human history, heavy, opaque vessels made of carved wood or thick pewter produced a dull thud or a harsh clack. The sense of hearing was completely absent. That changed in the 16th and 17th centuries, when Venetian glassmakers perfected the art of creating clear, delicate crystal. This technological breakthrough finally provided the missing acoustic element. This diagram illustrates how the ritual of toasting engages all 5 human senses. By incorporating lead oxide into their manufacturing, British and Irish glassmakers produced glassware with extraordinary acoustic properties. When struck, These high-quality glasses generated rich, prolonged bell notes. The toast transitioned from a crude physical gesture into a highly refined 360-degree bodily experience. Completing this sensory pentad engages the entire human sensorium simultaneously. The delicate, ringing tone anchors the individual perfectly in the present moment, preparing the palate and the body for consumption. With the physical and sensory mechanics in place, different global regions began applying strict social rules to the gesture. In Germany, participants must maintain unwavering eye contact while their glasses touch, demanding intense psychological presence. In Japan, the ritual enforces Confucian hierarchies. A junior employee must ensure the rim of their glass strikes below the rim of their superior's glass, physically manifesting deference. While the physical clink unites the human senses, these strict cultural rules serve as a powerful social mirror. They are designed to test and enforce a society's unique definition of respect, hierarchy, and interpersonal vulnerability. To understand the true psychological power of the toast, we have to view it through the framework of modern sociology. Specifically, we look to Emile Durkheim and his foundational concept of collective effervescence. Durkheim posited that when a group comes together to participate in a simultaneous, synchronized action, they generate a palpable emotional energy. A successful toast requires a precise disruption of normal activity, halting individual conversations, aligning attention toward a speaker, and raising arms in a unified geometric gesture. This rhythmic entrainment of bodies transcends isolated consciousness and temporarily unifies the group into a single cohesive entity. This sociological synchronization pairs directly with our biology. The consumption of an intoxicant like alcohol is an act of voluntary vulnerability that lowers physical reflexes, dulls the senses, and drops psychological inhibitions. Executing this synchronized ritual before consuming a mind-altering substance functions as an unspoken non-aggression pact, a physical demonstration that the environment is safe and interpersonal trust has been established. Today, the explicit historical meanings behind the toast have evaporated. The gods of antiquity no longer receive our poured libations, and the memory of passing a heavy wooden communal bowl has vanished entirely from our collective consciousness. Yet anthropologists argue that this loss of original meaning is not a flaw. It is actually the secret to the ritual's remarkable survival. Because the explicit historical context has faded, the ritual now functions as an empty vessel. It allows every new generation to pour their own immediate emotional intentions, whether that is celebration, mourning, business partnership, or simple relief, into the ancient mold. Ultimately, clinking glasses operates as a forced pause button, a ritualized demand for shared presence and interpersonal trust in an unpredictable world.